At 2:11 in the morning, Daniel was awake again. Sleep had become a stranger in his small apartment. The silence of the night pressed against the windows, and the faint glow of the streetlight outside painted pale lines across the ceiling. The world felt paused, like it was holding its breath. Daniel sat on the edge of his bed, phone in his hand, staring at a message that had arrived exactly 1 minute ago. It contained nothing but a link. No name, no explanation, just the link. He frowned. For a moment he considered ignoring it. The internet was full of strange things, but something about it felt deliberate. The message had come from an unknown number, yet it felt personal, as if it had been sent directly to him for a reason. His thumb hovered over the screen. Finally he tapped it. The video opened. At first, there was only darkness, a few seconds of quiet static. Then the screen slowly brightened. A woman appeared. Daniel's heart stopped. "Mom?" He whispered the word out loud before he could stop himself. It couldn't be. His mother had died 8 months earlier, but the woman in the video looked exactly like her. Same gentle eyes, same soft smile that always seemed to understand things before anyone spoke. She sat in what looked like a hospital room. The lighting was dim. Her hair was thinner than Daniel remembered. And then she spoke. "Daniel, if you're watching this, it means the timing worked." His chest tightened. The voice was unmistakable. He leaned forward, gripping the phone like it might disappear. "I asked someone to send this to you later," she continued softly. "Not right away. I wanted you to have time to feel what you needed to feel." Daniel's eyes filled with tears. He remembered the hospital room, the machines, the quiet beeping, the way he had tried to stay strong while everything inside him broke. "You were angry when I left," she said gently. "I saw it in your eyes." Daniel swallowed hard. She was right. He had been angry at doctors, angry at life, angry at the universe for taking the one person who had always believed in him. "You stopped calling your sister," she continued. "You stopped painting. You even quit the job you worked so hard to get." Daniel felt like someone had opened a window into his life, because that was exactly what had happened. Since her death, everything had slowly fallen apart. "I know grief is heavy," she said quietly. "But Daniel, it isn't meant to stop your life." He wiped his eyes. "How do you know all this?" He whispered to the screen. As if hearing him, she smiled slightly. "A mother always knows." The video paused for a second, then resumed. "I made another request before I left," she said. "I asked someone to watch you for a while, just to make sure you were okay." Daniel blinked. Watched him. A strange chill ran down his spine. The video cut briefly to another clip. Security footage from outside his apartment building. The date in the corner was 2 weeks earlier. Daniel stared at it, confused. Then the screen returned to his mother. "Don't worry," she said softly. "No one is spying on you. I just wanted someone to remind you of something important." She leaned closer to the camera. "Tomorrow morning at exactly 9:01, walk to the cafe on Oak Street." Daniel frowned. The old cafe? He hadn't been there in years. "Order a coffee," she said. "Sit by the window." Daniel shook his head slightly. This was strange, very strange, but he couldn't stop watching. "There will be someone there," she said, "and that meeting will change your life." The video froze for a moment. Then her voice returned, quieter now. "I know you think you're alone." Her eyes softened. "But you're not." The video ended. The screen went black. Daniel sat frozen in the dim light of his bedroom. His heart was racing. Part of him thought it had to be some elaborate trick, but another part of him knew it was real. The next morning, Daniel almost didn't go. He stood outside the cafe, staring at the familiar wooden door. The place looked exactly the same. Same faded sign, same smell of roasted coffee drifting through the air. He checked his phone. 8:59 a.m. He took a deep breath and stepped inside. The bell above the door chimed softly. The cafe was quiet. A few people sat with laptops. A barista wiped the counter. Daniel ordered a coffee. Then he walked to the window and sat down. 9:00 a.m. Nothing happened. He waited. 5 minutes passed. He felt foolish. Maybe it was all coincidence. Maybe the video had been some emotional prank. Then the door opened. A young woman stepped inside. She looked around the cafe for a moment. Then her eyes landed on him. She walked straight to his table. "Daniel?" she asked. He blinked. "Yes." She smiled nervously and sat down. "My name is Sarah." Daniel frowned slightly. "Do we know each other?" She shook her head. "No, but I knew your mother." Daniel's heart skipped. "How?" Sarah reached into her bag and pulled out a small envelope. "She asked me to give you this today." Daniel slowly took it. His hands trembled as he opened it. Inside was a letter written in his mother's handwriting. His vision blurred as he read. "Danielle, if you're reading this, it means you followed the video. Good. I wanted you to meet Sarah, because she needs help, and you need purpose. Sarah lost her brother last year. He struggled with depression for a long time. She's been working on a project to help people who feel alone. She doesn't know this, but I believed you could help her build it. You always had a gift for understanding people, and the world needs more people like you. Please don't hide from life anymore. Live it, for both of us. Love always, Mom." Daniel lowered the letter slowly. His chest felt tight again, but this time it was different. Not pain, something warmer. Sarah looked at him carefully. "I'm sorry if this is strange," she said softly. "Your mom reached out to me months before she passed. She told me you might need something to believe in again." Daniel stared at the letter. "She always did things like this," he murmured. Sarah smiled faintly. "She talked about you a lot." Daniel laughed quietly through tears. "Hopefully good things." "Only good things." They sat in silence for a moment. Then Sarah leaned forward slightly. "I'm building a small organization," she said. "Online and local support groups for people struggling with grief and loneliness. But I don't know how to reach people." Daniel thought about the months he had spent alone, the long nights, the emptiness. Then he thought about his mother's voice. "Live it, for both of us." He took a deep breath. "I used to work in digital media," he said. Sarah's eyes widened slightly. "Really?" He nodded. "I could help build the platform. Videos, outreach, storytelling, everything." For the first time in months, Daniel felt something shift inside him, like a door slowly opening. Sarah smiled. "I think your mom planned this perfectly." Daniel looked down at the letter again, and for the first time since she died, he didn't feel like she was gone. He felt like she had simply moved one step ahead, guiding him forward. Outside the cafe window, the morning sun rose higher, filling the street with light. Daniel folded the letter carefully and placed it in his pocket. Then he looked at Sarah and said quietly, "Let's start."